The word yes is a trap. It's a tiny word with enormous power. The power to steal your time, your energy, and your freedom. When you agree to something you don't want, it's like building your own personal prison. Every yes, when you mean no, adds another brick to the wall. But the twist is, you're both the prisoner and the warden. Today, you're getting the keys. In the next few minutes, you'll uncover the hidden force that's been pulling your strings. It's not what you think. In fact, it might shock you. We're diving into 5 powerful strategies to reclaim control of your life. And the third one? It's a game changer that'll have you wondering why you didn't try it sooner. This isn't a typical self-help story. It's about demolishing the cage you've built around yourself, and it could transform your entire life. Ready to break those chains? Let's dive in. Step 1. Recognize the puppet strings. Before we can break free, we need to identify what's holding us back. Control comes in many forms, and it's not always as obvious as someone telling you what to do. Here are some sneaky ways others might be pulling your strings. Guilt trips. After all I've done for you. Emotional manipulation. If you really cared, you'd do this. Social pressure. Everyone else is doing it. Veiled threats. It'd be a shame if something happened to your reputation. Take a moment to reflect. Do any of these sound familiar? Maybe it's a parent, a partner, a friend, or even your boss. Recognizing these tactics is your first step towards freedom. But here's the kicker. Sometimes the puppet master isn't even a real person. It could be societal expectations, cultural norms, or even that critical voice in your head that sounds suspiciously like your 5th grade teacher. Try this. For the next week, keep a control journal. Every time you feel pressured to do something you don't want to, write it down. Who's applying the pressure? How are they doing it? This awareness alone can be eye-opening. Remember, knowledge is power. Once you see the strings, you can start cutting them. Step 2. Set boundaries like a boss. Now that you've identified the puppet strings, it's time to start snipping. And your scissors? They're called boundaries. Boundaries are like your personal force field. They define where you end and others begin. Without them, you're basically a human sponge, absorbing everyone else's needs and wants. But here's the thing, setting boundaries isn't about building walls. It's about creating healthy limits that protect your mental and emotional well-being. Start small. Try these boundary-setting phrases. I appreciate the offer, but that doesn't work for me. I understand you feel that way, but I see it differently. I need some time to think about that before I decide. It might feel uncomfortable at first. You might worry about hurting others' feelings or facing conflict. But remember this, your feelings matter too, and most people will respect clear, firm boundaries. Here's a powerful exercise. Think of an area in your life where you feel controlled. Now, imagine you're the CEO of your life, because guess what? You are. What boundaries would you set to protect your company, you, from hostile takeovers, other people's control? Write these boundaries down, post them somewhere visible, and start enforcing them, one interaction at a time. Step 3. Tune into your inner GPS. Here's a mind-bending thought. What if the reason you're so easily controlled by others is that you've lost touch with your own desires? Think about it. When was the last time you asked yourself what you truly want, not what your parents want for you, or what society says you should want, but what lights you up from the inside. It's time to reconnect with your inner GPS. This is your internal guidance system, the part of you that knows what's best for you. It's been there all along, but it might be a bit rusty from disuse. Try this powerful exercise. 1. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. 2. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. 3. Now ask yourself, if I could do anything without fear of judgment or failure, what would it be? 4. Let the answers bubble up naturally. Don't censor or judge them. 5. Write down whatever comes to mind, no matter how wild or impractical it seems. This isn't about immediately quitting your job to become a professional surfer, unless that's really calling to you. It's about reconnecting with your authentic desires and values. The more you practice tuning into your inner GPS, the easier it becomes to distinguish between your true desires and the expectations others have placed on you. Remember, your inner voice is your superpower. The louder it becomes, the harder it is for others to drown it out with their demands. Step 4. Master the art of the pause. Alright, are you ready for the game changer I promised? Here it is. Learn to pause. It sounds simple, right? Almost too simple. But this tiny tactic can completely revolutionize how you respond to others' attempts to control you. Here's how it works. The next time someone makes a demand or tries to guilt you into something, don't respond immediately. Instead, take a deep breath and say, "Let me think about that and get back to you." This pause does 3 powerful things. 1. It breaks the cycle of automatic people-pleasing. 2. It gives you time to check in with your inner GPS. 3. It puts you back in control of the situation. But here's where it gets really interesting. This pause isn't just about buying time. It's about rewiring your brain. You see, every time you automatically say yes to someone else's demands, you're strengthening the neural pathways of compliance in your brain. But when you pause, you're creating a new pathway, one of thoughtful choice. Try this. Set a pause alert on your phone. Every few hours, it'll remind you to pause and ask yourself, am I doing what I want to be doing right now? Or am I just reacting to others' expectations? With practice, this pause will become second nature. And before you know it, you'll be making choices based on your own values and desires, not others' demands. Step 5. Embrace the power of no. Now we're getting to the heart of it. The most powerful word in your freedom vocabulary is a tiny 2-letter word, no. For many of us, saying no feels almost physically painful. We worry about disappointing others, missing out on opportunities, or being seen as selfish. But here's the truth. Every time you say no to something that doesn't align with your values or goals, you're saying yes to yourself. Think of it this way. Your time and energy are precious resources. Every yes you give to someone else's priorities is a no to your own. But don't worry, you don't have to become a no machine. The key is to make your yes mean something by being selective about when you use it. Try this empowering exercise. 1. Make a list of all your commitments for the next week. 2. Next to each one, write hell yes if it truly excites you or aligns with your goals. 3. For everything else, ask yourself, if this was happening tomorrow, would I still say yes? If not, it's a candidate for a no. Remember, no is a complete sentence. You don't always have to explain or justify it. A simple, thanks for thinking of me, but I can't commit to that right now, is often enough. And here's a liberating thought. Most people are so caught up in their own lives, they won't even remember what you said no to in a week's time. The freedom formula. We've covered a lot of ground, from recognizing control tactics to embracing the power of no. But here's the real secret. True freedom comes from consistently applying these strategies in your daily life. Think of it as your personal freedom formula. Awareness plus boundaries, plus inner guidance, plus thoughtful pauses, plus selective yeses equals a life of freedom and authenticity. It might feel challenging at first. You might ruffle some feathers or face pushback from people who are used to controlling you. But stand firm. Remember, you're not just changing your behavior, you're changing the entire dynamic of your relationships. And here's the beautiful part. As you reclaim your power, you'll inspire others to do the same. Your journey to freedom can create a ripple effect, touching lives in ways you never imagined. Your new life starts now. We've reached the end of our journey, but in many ways, this is just the beginning for you. You now have the tools to break free from others' control and start living life on your terms. But knowledge without action is just information. So here's my challenge to you. Choose one of these strategies and commit to practicing it for the next 7 days. It could be setting a new boundary, pausing before responding to demands, or tuning into your inner GPS daily. As you do this, pay attention to how you feel. Notice the small shifts in your relationships and your sense of self. These are all signs that you're reclaiming your power. Remember, breaking free from others' control isn't a one-time event. It's an ongoing practice of choosing yourself, your values, and your dreams day after day. You've always had the power to free yourself. Now, you know how to use it. Before we wrap up, I want to hear from you. Which of these strategies resonated with you the most? What's the first step you're going to take towards freedom? Share in the comments below. Your insight might be just what someone else needs to hear. And if you found value in this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos on personal growth and empowerment. Thanks for watching, and remember, your life is yours to live. It's time to take back control. Until next time, keep shining your unique light